All right, sorry about that. I was just trying to recap. Okay, so that's what we did before for the authentication. Okay, import SDK. I think that's what we did. We did the Firebase authentication SDK user version, and then call that class, get instance, and use the right method you want, pass the parameters. Make sure you specify two blocks, always two blocks. One is then block to deal with the actions if the call was handled successfully. And also the catch error block if something wrong happened, how you want to process the error. Okay, so that's what we did for the authentication. Okay, let's also go back to Firebase and make sure that you still remember all of this. Again, I highly encourage you to take a look at the Firebase and try to use that in your app. Okay, in some extent, it might be even easier to do than your local storage. Okay, so let me remember which project we're doing the Flutter summer. Okay, so Flutter summer. All right, that's what we did. And then if you go here to see authentication, and this is the latest user I just signed up today. All right, so everything is handled by Firebase securely. They hash your password, following all the best practice for cybersecurity, nothing to take care of. Okay, so that way you can actually focus on your application. Okay, because the user really don't need to care about all this security always. It's important, but they don't need to know the detail. And as an app developer, you want to deliver the best UI experience, and you don't want to touch too much about some of the lower level details, and let Firebase handle it. Okay, so that you can build a better app. So that's one. All right, so today I'm gonna go keep showing other things you can do with Firebase. Okay, so Firestore. Okay, that's actually very important. So Firestore database. There are two different kind of databases. There is the real-time database. There is also a Firestore database. In the video, I actually showed you the real-time database. Okay, you can still follow that, but I will do a different one this time. I'll do the Firestore database. Firestore database is just almost like a MongoDB. It's still the NoSQL type of database, very convenient to use. All right, so let's actually start by creating a new database. I normally put that in the test mode so that you don't have to worry about the permission and everything. It's very easy to use. So it's always start from test mode and then enable that. That's the data center. Looks like you don't have choices. We just put it there in the central US. All right, so this will set up an initial database for you to use. And then this portal here provides you a view that you can actually see everything. Okay, so right now there's empty. So this one goes by documents. So it's NoSQL. So you always have some kind of document. Inside the document, you have this giant hash that you can save all different things. You organize the documents by collections. All right. So let's say that I'm going to start a new collection, and then this collection I will try to store, or I'll start from the boring example. Okay, students. Okay, this collection is for students, and then inside this collection, then you can create all different student information. So every student has a profile, or think about your user has a profile. And I'm going to put that as an independent separate document. So every student I will give an ID. So for example, you guys all have the Bronco ID, right? I think it's 9 digits. All right. So I'll do something like this. You got an ID, and then you save. That's how you can create a document. All right, so in this case, I will put every student into one document. Inside the document, that you can see, you can add a field, right? Very easy to understand. It's just a key value pair. So you have a name, all right? And then you can add, and that's how you can put all the attributes. I can do other major, all right? And you can do complicated things. Okay, you can see, you can do, for example, timestamp, you can do array as a list. So you can do courses, and then you can say, I took this course, I took some other course, and that's a list. So they can also handle those. Very easy to use, but the fundamental idea is just a key value pair, just like hash table, just like a dictionary. Okay, And then here you can create multiple documents. Okay, I'm gonna do the next one. Student, again, ground ID. All right, and then save it. That's a new student. Oh, the ID is different, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I will add the same field. I got a name. All right, and then I got major. All right, and then you can still add the courses. Oh, sorry, that is array. All right. So as you can see, every student has the same structure. Key values. Key is the name of the attributes, and the value is the actual value for that attribute. And this is for different kind of structures. So pretty easy to use. If you be familiar with a real-time database, it's almost the same. The only difference that this one, they don't use document, they just use this kind of trees to manage everything. You can consider this one as kind of a collection, and you open that one, you can go as many levels as you want. Okay, so it's all similar. So no major difference. Okay, so that's how the Firestore works. All right, so it's actually very easy to do this whole thing in the portal, but what we really want is actually to do everything inside the app, to add things from the app, right? So that's where we need to go back to the code. All right, so let's actually build a very quick UI for this. I don't know if we have space for this one. Okay, let's just try to add one more. Okay, I'll just go to the in this case, we will need, I'll duplicate this one, okay? Firebase Firestore, okay? Now I will change the name and everything. I'll do this as quick as I can. To refactor. All right. And I will still need to use some of these boxes because we need to add a user there. Okay, but those won't be called username. I'll get a name, I'll get a major. Let's just start from this two. Okay, I wanna overwhelm. So it's not a password anymore. And let's actually refactor this. Okay, so this is called name controller. Okay, this is called major controller. All right, so that automatically changed all the other stuff. All right, so we press the button, and then we're not going to do this anymore, but we're going to do the add. Okay, so the other button here. So this one we'll say add student, and later on we can do something called the list student. Okay, so that's the new page, and then let's actually add this one to the main page so that we can show it. Just add one more button. Okay, so this will be demo Firebase Firestore page. That's it. Firebase Firestore. Okay, refresh my page. All right, so it shows up as the very last one. Okay, so we don't know if we want to add more, but I will rechange the UI a little bit. Okay, so now I go to here. All right, I got a new one, name and major, and add students and the students. So I'm just reusing that one. Let me change the title as well. I change the title, which is here. Okay, so very quickly, I reviewed the UI here. Okay, so let me go back. And, oh wait, sorry, I changed the wrong one. So it's supposed to be this one here. All right, so I'm ready. So I'm going to click on this button to add a student with name and major. I'll skip the courses. Okay, this involves some more complicated structure. This one is a quick and easy example. All right, so now what we need to do is to use a program to add the same thing to the Firestore database. Okay, it's extremely easy to see. All right, so first of all, we need to make sure that the SDK is ready. So go back here, And then we don't have the Firestore, so go back to Flutter Fire. So they list all the dependencies you may need, and we use the first this one, and we're looking at this Firestore. Okay, just click on this, get the actual dependency. Where's the page? Yeah, this one here. Let's click on this and installing. And here's the latest version. Let's just use this one. Go back. All right. So since this is a new dependency, normally just to be safe, you have to stop the app and then reload everything. Yeah, make sure the dependencies will be integrated. Once that one is done, now we can try to click on get dependencies. Excuse me. And then we will actually do very similar things. Okay, so I leave the code here as you can see to the authentication. When you press the button, you actually either sign in or sign out. So one more time, this is structure normally we use. Authentication, instance, and function call, parameter, and then cache block. Okay, so Firebase always use this kind of structure. So with that, I'm going to delete this part here. I will do this as student. Okay. You should be able to find all the documentation example right here. If you go to examples, so there are a lot of things going on. Okay, so this shows you all the basic operations. But here, I don't think I even need a documentation because the way they do it is very easy. So we do Firestore, Firestore, okay, dot instance. So they use this thing called singleton. I kind of explained that they always want you to use the same instance. I do dot, and then you pretty much can figure out what to do here. You will start from a collection because otherwise they can't really find which collection you're using. Okay, and then that's it. When you have a collection, you're gonna work with document. Now in this case, we need to add a new document. All right, so I think we'll probably need to do an add. All right, and does that show us what is okay, you know what, to be safe, let's actually still look at how do they add. Okay, we talk about those. Okay, so I see, so the better documentation is actually right here. Let's see, go back to the Flutter file. So documentation. We just need to take a look at the usage. Yeah, so collection, add. All right, and you don't need to specify the ID. Let's just try it, see what happens. Okay, we'll do add. And then when you do add, it's actually very easy. You can see they do a map. So if you look at this one here, we always have a name and make sure this is kind of a key value pair. So we can do the same thing. So name coming from name controller. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot the brackets. That's fine. All right, and then I will do major. That's how you can put this thing together into a map, because this structure is the same as the one we use here. Okay, that's it. So that's how you add something, you make function call, and don't forget, then that's when the things got successful, and then catch error. That's when the things are wrong. So you must always provide this so that you know what's going on. So this one here, I will print fail to add the student. This one here will say successfully added a student. All right, so let's try it. So let's see what happens. We run the app. Definitely make sure you're familiar with structure. Okay, Firebase and get an instance, and then based on the library you're using, call it, and then just do this and catch out. That's it. Very easy to use. You don't set up anything locally. To some extent, this is definitely a lot easier to use than local storage. Oh, all right, so some dependencies issues here. I thought we fix those. Yeah, the Firebase. The only part I don't like is the yeah. A lot of this depends the newer versions. They're gonna bring a lot of problems with the dependency. But the good thing is that they gave better documentations. At least you just follow that. And so we need to increase this minimum SDK version to be 19. I saw we're already 19. Let's see what happens. So go here, here. Where do we specify this version? Use, okay, looks like we never change it. Okay, so is there somewhere here? Or anyone know where to change it? It is. So what I'm trying to find is this. So they ask us to change this one. Okay. You can change this one into 19. That's what we need. But you see, they use variables. I want to find where the variables are defined. Does anyone know? Let me see. It should be somewhere in the Flutter, I feel. It's not in the Android folder. Okay, that's a good idea. Let's try that. Okay, so let me find it. So it's this one here. Yeah, they're trying to do it a better way. Normally, I would just hard code and change it. Oh, that's the only place. What about this one? Huh, interesting. That's the only place they have. Has anyone changed this one before? I'm just very curious where they save this.
Professor, just to let you know, I had to change the same thing, and I had the same thought that I didn't want to hard code the minimum SDK version, and there was no way around it from the time I spent looking online. I just changed the value so
you
I can
didn't-
make it work.
Okay. You didn't Google. Even Google, you didn't find anything, right?
Yeah. I Googled around for a little bit, and if I could, I wish I could have found it, but I couldn't.
Yeah, this one I'm pretty sure it's actually coming from here. They have this in here. This matters. So this number you change is going to reflect the other part. As you can see, build name, build matter. This one's here. Maybe it's somewhere here. Okay. Anyway, I agree. It's not worth the time, but it's just which is hard coded. So we'll change this version to be 19. I think that's what they're looking for. Okay, one more time. All right, when it runs and as long as not showing error, that's a good sign. They're good. All right, so still, yeah, still all of it all together. So Again, they do this one. You just need to, I think, um, either disable that or let's see if they provide a spread option. Yeah, so go back to Android, Gradle, and this thing I'm pretty sure you can actually Google and find it. So here, see, learn how to resolve this. So oh, the minimum version 21, it will automatically enable, or otherwise, I know you can add this one. Yeah, that's what you're looking at. You know, why don't we do the 21? Because we don't really need that lower version. See if this one helps. Otherwise, I normally just add this attributes, enable the multi DAX again. We don't know what all of that is. Some of this challenge that they have to face as they do the other upgrade the new versions. They have to take care of the backward compatibility. I'm sure there are a lot of compiling issues going on that in your this side. Okay, so not everything works. Okay, so let's come back to test Firebase. Go to Firebase Store demo, and I'm going to type name here and major here. All right, so let's add a student, and I'm going to go back to the view here to see if students are added successfully. This is supposed to be real time. Okay, if I add it successfully, as you can see, that shows up. All right, and then that's the message or the attribute I put here. So it looks like they, by default, they gave you unique ID. That's actually very helpful. So you don't need to worry about creating that your own. But I'm pretty sure you can also do your own ID. I just didn't look at the documents. But this part is better because you just need to make sure the document all have unique IDs. All right. And I think you can keep adding more students. Add another one. So here's another one. All right. That's one. All right. So that's how you write. It's very easy. I don't want to go too much depending on what you want to do. You can look at some documentation to see other things you want to do. Okay. But I just want you to see it's very simple. Very good library to work with. It just saves things into cloud and you can share it and exchange. Okay. The next thing I want to show you is how to read. This is how to write and then how to read. All right. So I will use the next button here to do it. And then we can try to show things on the list view. Okay, we'll do the list view later, but let's actually show you how you can list stuff here first. So Firebase, Firestore.instance.collections, students. And then I could try to just read all the documents. That's one way because I want to see all the students, right? So I'll see how do we do all the documents. I think there are there's a doc. There's a okay, there's a get. I think the get is what we need. Okay, let's see. So go back to the documentation. How to read the data. One time read, that's normally what you want. Okay, just read it once. And they use collections. And from there, they do, okay, so if you want to do a specific documentation, just do doc and doc ID and you get it. How do we do everything? Okay, you do docs. Okay, yeah, you just do get. All right. So anyway, guys, I go through this one very quickly because I've done this before, but as you read this one, you probably want to look at this example more carefully. So collection get, that give you all the documentation. Okay, let's try this. Get. That's it. Once you get, it returns everything. Don't forget then, because this time the then is very important because it's going to show you all the docs. And then catch error. So this one. So always do this. Otherwise, if something wrong, you don't know what's going on. Definitely put a message there so that you know it's actually not correct. Okay, and then we can try it. I'm going to list all students. Okay, so success load everything, and then it give you all this query snapshot. Okay, so it looks like this is just one object, and then you have to iterate and then get all the things. Okay, so let's see what's inside the docs, and you can do, you know, as you can see, there are docs. Okay, every docs has a new has their attribute inside. So that's why we that. Oh, sorry, this is a very bad name. Okay, so this will be a query snapshot. I'll change that. From the query snapshot, you can get docs, and then this you can do a loop. I think let's do a for loop. All right, for every doc in here, and I'm gonna print the doc. And so this time I'm gonna this one here. All right, going testing the list students. Click on the button. All right, so load all the students, and we are in this one instance. Wait, it's not refreshed. It's the same thing. All right, maybe that's not ready to go. Let me see this one. Docs and for each thing. That should be the same. Maybe this loop something is wrong, but let's actually use their way. Okay, they use this thing called for each. For each. Okay. Follow that, and then let's print the element. Okay. Try list the view. Yeah, it's the same thing. All right, so maybe we're missing something. Let's see what's inside the element. Element has ID, has a reference as a document reference, and there's a data. A data should be the actual data. Let's actually print the data. Okay. So let's list students one more time. All right, so this time you can start here. All right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there are 4. But why earlier it didn't print those? Yeah, that's where I got confused. You can see this one, you can see all the data coming out because there are 4 records here in the collection, 4 documents. So that's correct. But why previously it didn't show that? When I do this one, we didn't see 4. Oh, I see. So maybe they somehow they just ignore some of those. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So I think that's how it works. All right, so we will skip this one. As you can see, that's how you can load the data. So everything is here. You click on list, and we can get all the data there. And then if you just want specific fields, for example, I just want name, and then you can just grab name. I just don't want a major. You can just do that. But all the data is there. Click on list. That's it. That's how you can get things all together here. All right. Pretty straightforward. That's how you read the data. Okay. I'll make a very quick example how you can do a list view here. Okay, assume everyone has been using the list view. All right, so after this, go to the example, Flutter, list view. All right, and then there's some good examples. I normally use the second one. This one has a list view builder. Okay, so I'll do this one here. All right, So list view builder is based on a list. So anything you want to show inside the list view, you have to do the list here. So let me actually create a new list. I'll call it student list. So we're going to use student list for the list view. We already talked about this one before. Okay, I will go through this one very quickly, and I will not do color. Color, just do and then this one here will be the student list. I just print out this whole thing. Right. And for the list view, I know you have to do it expanded, otherwise it will give you a complaint. Okay. So let's rerun this. All right, so there will be a list view. And then now I click on this one, it's only print this one, nothing changed for the list view. The problem is that we are not updating this list view, right? So what we should do right now is that every time when you load the user, go here. Before loading it, I'm gonna do an empty, just clear everything in the list. As you are going through every item, I will add those into my student list. Right? So I'm gonna add the actual, I can add a whole thing. Or I can just, show you how you use all the attributes. I'll just do a name. Maybe I'll do a parenthesis. Major. Okay. So after all of this, I'll do a set state. Don't forget, this is to update all the UI status. All right. So refresh. Very easy. I'll click on the button one more time. Oh, yeah, this is frozen. Okay, somehow it's really turns very slowly. Okay. Anyway, that's what you see here. And then based on the records, actually loads everything, save into the list, and the list will be used in this view. The moment you call set state, everything will be updated. So I don't need this entry here. So that's how you can display everything from database. Right. So read and write. The challenging part about read is that you got to figure out all the structures. Okay, so the data structure you use here, and whether this is a list or a map, and it's all sometimes different. So printing them, see the actual structure, that will help you. And then you put these things into the list. The list will be used by the UI. All right. Any questions about this part? All right, so that's a Firebase store. Okay, obviously there are some other cases you had to deal with. You sometimes need to update one attribute. How do you do that? I think the documentation all gave you those. Okay, this is, you can do more advanced queries based on some kind of conditions. So more like working with a database. Okay. Like updating document, that this one you probably need to do differently. You have to specify which attribute to update, but it's all the similar structures. Okay, there are more support. You can see data offline. They probably create a cache locally for you to store those. All right, that's it. Pretty straightforward. All right. One more thing I can show is the Firebase storage. Okay, let me go back here. Okay. So on the left-hand side here, okay, we talked about authentication. I showed you a very quick demo on the Firestore. I just want you to see it's actually very easy to use. And this one I skip it, but I have examples online that you can follow. And then another one you should use is storage. Okay, storage is different from this database, is that storage is used for files. It's like Google Drive. Okay, you put individual files here, so you can just upload get the URL, and you don't need to worry about the how do you stream the data, how do you save the format, all of those. It's very easy. Okay, so one common case is that you take a picture, you want to save it in the Firestore. That's a very typical use case. All right, so let's take a look at the Firestore. So same way, you go to storage. Okay, you go to the installation for the dependencies, and then go to installing here. And that is the URL and version. So go back to the YAML file. Add one more here for storage. And let's get it. Let's stop the app and make sure we can run this without problems. All right. And then the storage basically, if you see, let's see if there are any examples. Is actually, let's actually take a look at this example. It's better examples here. Storage, and then look at it, get started. Yeah, so this just some, okay, so this one you probably need to set up on the Google Cloud because they may charge something like that. We can just skip those. And to really do that, it's actually not too difficult. Yeah, how do you upload files? And create a reference and then specify a local file and upload. So it's not really too difficult. All right. So one example we can do is to take a picture and then try to upload the file to storage. Okay, let me make sure I can run this one. All right, now taking a picture. I don't know how many of you have done this one. One very good tutorial is Flutter take a photo. Okay, so they got a very good documentation on this one. Okay, they have a lot of good sample code and everything to follow. I give you a very basic camera view, take a picture, how to save the image. Okay, but I like to go a different way. I actually found a better package to do this called an image picker. So this one automatically you can choose things from local or from camera. Okay, so let's actually do this one. I highly recommend because this actually simplifies everything. Okay, so I'm going to go to installation. So if you're trying to do something about it, choosing a local picture, taking a picture, use this library. Don't implement your own. Okay, this is going to save you tons of time. All right, go here, image picker. Okay, try to get this one more time. Stop that. All right. But this one will be, there's some kind of configuration because this one deals with the local storage and everything. I'll just follow the instruction here. Okay. For Android, okay, starting here, you need to do a higher version. Okay, I think we probably need to change that. You don't need any configuration. That's actually very cool. This is not needed. Yeah, so they really simplify those. So the only challenge is that we need to make sure we can run this, because that probably need a higher version of Android, which is fine. Okay, so we're always targeting kind of more latest phones. But anyway, the image picker allows you to just pick the image is very easy. So let's look at examples. I think the example is so their example, yeah, this one here. As you can see, you just need to go on image button pressed. Okay, that's a function we did. And then right here, they have this whole method to trigger the image and then somehow display it. Okay, so we'll look at that later. But so it looks like this one is working. All right, so we're not hitting much error yet. All right, so let's take a look at that, and then am I able to add one more button? Let's try it. Yeah. So I'll still do the Firestore that example. Actually, let's do the authentication. That's an easier one. So very quickly, okay, storage. Okay, this is storage, do refactoring. And then in the main homepage, one more button to show that code. Storage. All right, so refresh. Oh, all right, so hitting the bottom here, And let me clear this tag here to see if it helps a little bit. And later on we can just do it. Yeah. This one here. Okay, so still not enough. So that's all right. So then I will just have to do some. I'll do a row. Okay, so I'll probably group these together. Go here. I'll move this to. It's out here. Row is too much. So I'll cut some of the keywords. Okay. All right, guys. Anyway, just for now, okay. So we can have some space to show. This page definitely doesn't look very good, but anyway, I'll click on this one. It brings to the new page. Okay, I can start a program here. Okay, this one I will do a very simple one. I'll keep the two buttons, just one for. I'll delete the rest. Okay, I'll delete this one. I'll keep two buttons. One is for pick an image. This one take a photo. Okay. All right, so you can try different things and see that look. Okay, so I'll delete this code. So first thing we need to figure out, okay, so how do we use the image picker library? This is really not a very good example. Okay, I'm sure I could find better ones. Very hard to read, and then also it's too much. I think I read something before. So getting a dependency configuration looks like right now they don't need any configurations. And get from gallery, pick a file, get image, everything. That's it. So easy. So you can see it's one method here. Okay, so I'm gonna choose this one. Let's just get from gallery. Right here. All right, so this we just need import. I'm pretty sure it's coming from the library. No. All right, so do we have this one? Let's actually try this one. Okay, now I'm gonna import this one here. All right, so yeah, so this one is talking about again the that whole checking. Okay, so let's see how to fix it. All right. Anyway, let's just see what it does. Okay, I'll click on a button. I'm gonna trigger this get from gallery, and that's gonna give us the image. Let me delete this. We don't need it anymore. Okay, so get from gallery. We'll run that function. Okay, so that should give us a way to get it. Right, so let's try it. See what happens here. Go to the story demo. Pick image. Yeah, as you can see, very easy. I'm gonna go to photos. All right, some download photos. All right, I'll pick your image. That's it. So once the photo is picked, I'm sure it actually goes to here. Okay, let's actually print image file. Okay, so let me try this one more time. Okay, so pick an image. You go to here, get this in here. Doesn't show it. That because the file is not updated. Try this one more time. So we're supposed to see the actual random pick image. All right, here you go. So we found an image, as you can see, we actually get this file position right away. Really easy, guys. Okay, so this kind of thing you just never try to figure out yourself how to do. I have no idea how to program this. So easy to do. Good examples. Okay, and then you locate the file, and with the file you can just upload it to Firestore. Okay, and let me finish this one. Okay, so they also have the camera. See, very cool. Okay, again, once I see this, I never use that official tutorial anymore. That tutorial is good, but very hard to do. All right, same way, I'll copy everything here. Now, this one, you take things from camera. As you can, the only change is here, the camera, this is the gallery. And a very good libraries, okay? Highly recommend. So, go here. This is the get gallery, this is the get from camera. Okay, let's run this one more time. Oh wait, I didn't print it. Let me print this in here. Okay, run it one more time. Okay, so go to the storage demo. This time I'm going to take a photo. And then for the emulator, they support, as you can see, they can do the webcam. I'll take a picture. And then you confirm it. All right, so here you see that's the photo saved on the device. Very easy to use. And then with that, you can then start to upload that. Okay, so let's see how the uploading works. So we will go to so once we have those, and then we can create another function. Upload file to Firebase Storage. And then we need to take a file. Okay, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, so let's see. Go to here. Again, try to look at some examples. You create a reference, you do some names, and you specify a full path. You just upload. You got a file. Once you got a file, that's it. And then reference, put file, and then put file. That's it. Yeah, so doesn't look like very complicated. All right. So before that, you should be familiar with this storage. It's very easy. You can create a folder, as you can see. I'm going to do a CS4750. All right, and then you can go there to upload files, and then in any way you want. All right, so you can also manually upload file. Okay, so you can just do any of those. All right, so that's just upload here, just like Google Drive. Okay, all right, so that's how it works. But we're doing programming right now. Okay, so let's actually go back here, see what we need. I think we need some kind of reference to follow that. This part I don't do very often. I can't remember it. So, but you still use the storage instance. Okay, and then you do a reference. From the reference, do a child. And then you can specify some folder names. I think that's how it works. Okay, dot child. I'll do CS4750 slash yeah, and then the file name, right? The file name. So I'm going to use the file name here. Dot name pass. Why is the pass? But we don't need the pass. We just need the file name. How do we get all right, so with that I can just generate let me do this. I'll just generate a timestamp. Okay, so timestamp. Probably down. I'll randomly generate one. Is a JPEG. Okay, so I'll use that one to do the file name. So every time it's different. All right, so that's the whole reference. Specify the folder, everything. And then with that, we can do upload, I think. Yeah, so I locate a file. We already have this in here. And then just put file, that's it. All right, let's try this. And I can probably do this in one line. Okay, so keep it in the same structure. So dot put file. So how easy. So this is the file, I put it here. That's it. And then you can imagine there's going to be then give you the results and then catch out. Okay, so this will be the result. So let's say 20 successfully uploaded the folder. All right, so with this, I'm going to call this method right here, which is uploaded, as well as here. Okay, so let's run this one more time and see what happens. Again, same kind of a code as before. Okay, so go to Firebase Storage. Let's take a photo for myself, and then click upload, and successful upload the photo. Let's see what happens. Go back here to Firebase, refresh. All right, so this photo renamed using the timestamp, and click on this one. That's a photo I just took here. Okay, very easy. So let's try to do that one. Another one. I'm gonna pick an image. All right, same thing. Successful uploaded. Come here to refresh. I got one more. I'm gonna click on this one. This one. That's it. That's a photo. All right. Now, once you have this, you will get a URL to do that when whenever you want to use that. So I click on this one. That's actually public URL you can access. Okay, they call it downloadable URL. Okay, so you can get this one. I think there's the API. You can grab the downloadable URL very quickly. Let me see. You might need this one. So from here, I think you might be able to do something. Maybe get reference dot get downloadable URL. You can see dot then again. That's just the URL. I'll just print the URL. Okay. Okay, let's try this. So this time I'm adding one more. This is very important. Okay, if you have the photo uploaded successfully, you will be able to get the downloadable URL and then see it. Then you can save the URL somewhere. If this is our student photo and profile, and then you can just keep it in the database. So storage one more time, take a picture, and then take a picture here, save the photo, and at the end, as you can see, it actually print this public URL. You click on this URL, and you get a photo. This is a public. Okay, this one you can actually put in your website into app. It will actually load it immediately. Okay, so guys, that's what I want to show you today. Now, I particularly want you to pay attention to the second one, this one here. Okay, the version I'm showing right now is quite different from the one I showed earlier in the video. This is 100 times easier. Okay, thanks to the library called image picker. Whenever you want to take a picture, or select something from phone, you use this library. Never follow that tutorial anymore. It's just so easy. The other one is so hard to use. Trust me, you don't want to touch that. And then storage, they also improved a lot. Okay, this thing here, it wasn't this easy before. Okay, right now it's actually super easy. Pass, put file, this how once the file is done, you can then get download URL. Okay, I also showed the Firestore, this one here, and also pretty easy. Know how to read things and how to write things. I didn't show you how to update, but you will be able to figure it out. Okay, so with all of these services I've introduced in Firebase, you should be able to handle, I would say, 98% of all the apps. Everything can be done with all of this. Okay. Some other things you can do in the future will be some machine learning libraries, those, and yeah, you can definitely also try those, but this gave you the full power of making any kind of mobile applications. All right. So let me actually stop recording so that we don't have a very long recording.